Doug GOTTLIEB Show here on Fox Sports Radio. 5-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro, but I don't know if they're cursed. I don't know how to explain it. Here on behalf of Body Armor, he's the one and only Cam Jordan, who will at some point either take my job or somebody's job in the media. How do you, in all honesty.
That was similarly high praise, and then you're just going to punch me in the gut. Go ahead, go for it.
No, I'm going to. How do you process how good you guys have been and yet how unfortunate you guys have been?
If a curse is making a playoff run every year,
yeah,
I would take that to not making a playoff run every year. There was 3 years where we didn't go to the playoffs. In succession.
And your defense was bad, and now your defense is good.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
It's when you weather the worst defense in NFL history, and then you go to being a top 5 defense in run defense. You talk about exactly what we're going to do to a game. We're able to transition, and if a curse is 13-3, there's much more worse curses out there. But that being said, for us to be bounced out the first round of the playoffs, you sit there and you look back at how close this locker room was, how much adverse situations we overcame this year in terms of losing Drew Brees, in terms of, for 5-6 games, not having Alvin Kamara at one point, not having, Marshawn Lattimore, not having Jared Cook. There's so many times that you look around, Andrews Pete, the guys went down for multiple games at a time, and here, we still stood at the end of the year at 13-3, putting ourselves in position to make a run at the playoffs, which we felt overly strong about. I feel like the nation felt overly strong about. And then for us to lose the way we did to the Vikings, it's always some circumstance, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you just sit there like, well, we all know that we're never going to get the right calls in our favor, so we have to take it beyond that. We never have to let anybody get close to us. You're like Icarus. You fly too close to the sun.
I love the Icarus, the Greek mythology reference. Cam Jordan joining us on the Doug GOTTLIEB Show. Okay, so but again, you seem to have perspective. Fans lose it, right? Like I was doing TV earlier today, and they were like, "Well, does Andy Reid have to win this game to be a Hall of Fame coach?" It's like, no, you can't. You can't be as. It's like Sean Payton. You can't be. I know he won a Super Bowl. You can't be that good in a league that tries to make you level you out, right? Like with the schedules, with the draft. Like there's a reason half the teams don't make the playoffs the next year,
right?
And that you guys have become consistent. Sean's teams, with the exception of that 3-year stretch, have been consistent in the playoffs.
Yeah, we didn't have a first round last year,
right? So, but my point is, I appreciate how good a team you are, but I think historically we don't seem to care unless you actually get to this game and, frankly, win this game. Even though it's hard to get here, it's interesting that you have that perspective. Okay, so. When you hear Drew is still contemplating what he wants to do, are you surprised by that? How do you react to that?
He's 40. He's played 19 years in the league. Or is he 41 now? He's definitely 41. I remember his 40th birthday party. That was phenomenal. He's definitely 41. When you talk about, he has every right to go ahead and assess where he's at.
Yeah.
Assess the body, assess the mind, assess, where his children are at. And then, how many Jimmy John's, Dunkin' Donuts, how much of the world he owns. But at the end of the day, he's happiest on the field. You see the way he takes after a game plan. You see the meticulous work that he puts in, not only for his body, but for any time he's going to take the field. And that takes a strain, I'm sure. So please, take the next month.
Okay,
then come back.
And then come back.
And then be there.
You guys are so close.
Or I'll find you.
San Francisco, like the questions about the 49ers are, can Jimmy G carry him? The game that everybody points to was the shootout against you guys.
Of course. The one shootout. Yep.
Is he as good as he played in that game?
You're going to have to prove it. To be consistent, it takes more than one game. So at the end of the day, they got away from that was the first time that year that they got away from, starting off with the strong running attack. They opened it up through the air and then got back to sort of what they did, but they left their DNA for a solid 2 quarters. At the end of the day, that sort of opened up everybody else's eyes to what they can do, and you see guys, the team started to adjust. They're not just more than a running team.
Cam Jordan joining us on the Doug GOTTLIEB Show on Fox Sports Radio. Where were you when you heard about Kobe?
Bro, we were at the Pro Bowl, like 5 minutes from going out to being introduced, to then start the game, of course. So the locker room was absolutely turned up. We talk about music was playing. we're blasting music, lights are going, phones are going, and then as phones are going, phones start to go off. And I look down at you get your notification, and you look in and you're like, Kobe died. Kobe Bryant. And it's like you show somebody else. I think I showed Daniil Hunter, and I was like, hey bro, check your phone. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I missed something. And I was like, yo, check your phone. Just looking. I was like, I was talking to Zadarius Smith, and I was like, yo man, is this real? And everybody's starting to talk about it, and it's like, yo, hey guys, line up. We're about to be out there. You're like, nah. Bro, do you see this? Pete Carroll comes over. He's like, hey, man, if what's said to be true, this is clearly trying time. He said some other words, but at this time, everybody's in shock. You're like, yo, it's Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was 40-something.
41. Same age as your quarterback.
Drew's 40-something,
Yeah.
41. It was like, yo, as a dad, I was like, I've got 2 girls. I've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old daughter. I've got a 4-year-old son, but it's like I couldn't imagine – my wife not being there. I couldn't imagine, me not being there. I couldn't imagine them growing up without a parent. I couldn't imagine and that's just beyond what Kobe means to basketball or sports in general.
Right.
Because it transcends basketball. You go to any sport growing up, I try and tell people, I was like, he was the Michael Jordan that,
right.
of my age.
This generation's Jordan.
No doubt. I saw 45. I didn't get to see 2-3. I saw 8 and 24. When you talk about, you make a shot, you Kobe.
Yeah.
You get serious and you're about your craft. You're like, yo, that's a Mamba mentality. There's every aspect of Kobe's game that transcends just basketball. He's an icon for a reason.
And even now repping Body Armor, which is
no doubt. He was like one of the first rounders that started up, right?
His company. He made a couple $100 million off of it. I mean, it's really, and that's. I mean. I also think that athletes, like yourself, look, you're a bigger than life human being, not just physically, but you kind of take over a room. Everybody knows who you are. And just the idea that a guy like that could be gone in a heartbeat is really.
And a freak helicopter.
I know.
I still don't get it. I was like, you look at it. I'm looking. I was like, this is a $13 million helicopter.
Yes.
This thing could probably fly itself.
Yeah, except. Okay, one wrong turn. In an effort to talk about Body Armor, for people who don't this is the second biggest sports drink on the market. It is taken. It is
for people that don't know it. They know. I mean, you talk about after workouts, after the morning run on the Miami Beach side.
Do you go for a jog?
What? Absolutely.
You're a jogger?
Absolutely. I'm a pure. If anything, I'm going to get my my jog in. My jog in sets a day. It clears your mind, allows you a little alone time.
Yeah.
I can have the headphones in and not even be playing nothing. I'm just, it's like reading a book. It's like, hey, it's your calm place, So I take a morning jog, and then after that, you go ahead, you go back to the room, take the shower, and you've got Body Armor. I've got the water right by bedside, and now I've got Tropical Punch in front of me. But it's to replace the electrolytes that you have. I mean, it's a potassium pack, has the electrolytes. You don't have to worry about it has no artificial sweeteners. It has doesn't have any flavor extra added flavors or dyes.
Flavors, yeah.
And you talk about it's coconut water based. It has nothing but the nutrients that you'd want in a drink.
No, the best part about you mentioning coconut water base is people would pay more for just pure coconut water that doesn't taste as good. You add the coconut water to everything else that they put in it, and you're almost getting more bang for your buck. Last thing, I know you got to run. For you personally, the level of motivation, because you made it, right? You're a star.
Have I?
Yeah.
Made it is over 100 sacks. I'm not there yet. Vaughn's there.
Huh?
Vaughn's there.
So
I'm sure JJ will be there next year.
So outside of
2011
outside of Super Bowl, 100 sacks is the next big goal.
Yeah, absolutely. When I came in the league, I was like, hey, if I can get 30 sacks in the league, I was like, that means I did a lot. If I did 50 sacks in the league, I was like, hey, nobody can take 50 sacks away from somebody. It takes a lot to get 50 sacks in the NFL. You get 100 sacks and you cemented that I'm more than just the run stopper.
Yeah, good
and
chance.
I came in and I was just a run stopper, quote unquote.
Yeah, and now of course you can do it both, which puts you in line potentially to wear one of those gold jackets. Look, hopefully next year we don't get to talk to you because you're sequestered somewhere in a hotel.
No doubt,
right?
no doubt. I call in. You call in. Yeah, you just called me on it.
I enjoy. I'm glad you enjoyed your jog today. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Doug Gottlieb here. Listen, you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio channel. Why? Well, because you get me. Duh. Plus, great interviews, interesting content, and you can watch the best lineup in sports radio.